Thank you for tuning in to Gloves Off Seattle. Your hosts, Patti and Meagan, will be talking about all things Seattle women's hockey. A huge Pacific Northwest welcome to the PWHL. Gloves Off Seattle! Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of Gloves Off Seattle.
Gloves Off Seattle.
It's embarrassing to do with another person here.
No.
As you can see on today's episode, we are so very excited. We have a very special guest. We would like to welcome Meg Turner. And thank you so much, Meg, for taking your time to be here. If you don't know, and I hope you know, Meg is the GM of the new PWHL Seattle team. So Meg, very, very welcome. And thank you for taking your time to be here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we started this podcast, and just because we're obviously very excited about the team and we wanted to get some fan fervor going. But the first episode we talked about our hockey origin stories. And if you don't know, Meg, I am like a brand new hockey fan, like within the last year. And
Love
so
it.
I am learning, and that is part of our, part of that's because of my wife. Part of my shtick is that I ask questions that maybe my most hockey fans would know the answer to, but because I'm new, I'm learning and that sort of thing. So we're just hoping to bring more people into the league that maybe don't have a hockey background or whatever. But we told our hockey origin stories, and you can go back and listen to episode 1 if you want to hear those, but we want to hear your hockey origin story.
Oh, goodness. All right, I'll have to rewind pretty far back. Before I get into that, though, that's awesome. I
Yeah.
love that we have people who don't know much about hockey coming in and learning hockey. That's amazing,
Yes. Yeah.
especially in Seattle. And just, yeah, really excited to bring more of the game out to the West Coast. So, my hockey origin story. I'll try not to meander too much. I have four siblings, all older. Um, three of them brothers and one sister. And we grew up in New Hampshire, so had, I think, like 4 acres of land. So my parents I think they moved up from Texas after my dad got out of the Air Force, and um, they didn't have, I think, youth soccer or baseball or whatever it was for my older siblings. Like they didn't have the youth sport. So my older siblings got into hockey. And then that kind of trickled down when I was born. And so my parents actually built this like pretty large rink in our yard. So from the time I was 2, they threw me on skates. So if I could walk, I could skate. Um, and then I think I started playing with my older brother Kevin at the age of 4. He was 6. And I just tagged along with him for most of my childhood, which is great for me, probably not as great for him, but it was it was early on. So it's just been a huge part of my life since I literally couldn't even remember.
I was like, do you even remember a life without hockey?
I do. I don't know if this is just like through photos or what, but I do remember the little skates that I started with. They were like in pink and had like this double blade on them.
Oh, so it was easier to skate.
Yeah, yeah, I
That's
guess.
cool.
Like just run into the boards too. But yeah, it goes way back. And then that obviously took me throughout my childhood. And one time I was like, Mom, I want to play basketball. She was like, well, you have to give up hockey because it's the same season. And I was like, okay, never mind. I'm not playing. So it was a big part of my life. And then obviously just turned into a lot of concrete goals and playing in college and whatnot. So that
And you
was,
did play in college. You went
I
to,
did.
I'm going to say it, Quinnipiac. Did I
That
do
was
it?
really good. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Nailed it. Yes. Went to Quinnipiac, did 4 years there, and then I took a year off after college. I was just starting in the consulting accounting world and wanted to dive in head first. And then I was like, I'm missing something. So the CWHL was around, and so I played a year there, and then later into the PWHPA, and then kind of hung them up. And then who would have thought a couple of years later I would be in the PWHL? So it's pretty cool.
Youngest GM.
Yeah, the youngest GM. That is yeah, kudos,
Huge.
hats off, like major boss babe moves. Like I love it. I know that. I know that's probably a weird accolade for you, but the fact that you are so young is impressive. For sure. So I'm interested to talk about you were a professional player for a little while, and I know that you maybe played with some of the players that are going to be on your team. And I just wonder, like, how does that translate? Like, how do you translate that from teammates to, GM of the organization? So,
Yeah, I think luckily, I don't think I have any current teammates on the team, which is good.
we
But
didn't do that. We did a little deep dive. We didn't do that much of a deep dive.
okay,
So,
good. But I do have, there have been players I played against and then teammates on other teams in the league. And yeah, it's interesting. But what's really cool is to see how even more elite they are now than they were even a few years ago, right? Just put the resources into these women and they show you what they can do. So I think it's just really cool for me to see the level of play and how it just keeps on getting so much better. So
Feels
yeah,
like it's growing exponentially, doesn't it?
it
Just the hopes
is.
and skills and dreams and
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's awesome. I love like this is a total tangent, but I love that like you don't blink twice anymore when you see a woman athlete on a commercial, right? Like it's just
no,
normalized and I don't think twice. And I'm like, oh, obviously, right? So
right.
it's really cool to see where women's hockey has come and obviously women's sports too, and just how much it's grown in exposure and visibility and all those good things.
Yeah.
we see sparks in little girls' eyes,
Yeah.
and it just makes our hearts so happy to see that, they're seeing where they could possibly go and knowing that that potential is there. It's amazing to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really really cool, and it's cool to see almost like I feel like from the outside looking in, like in the stands and everything. It's really cool to see a lot of little girls show up, a lot of little boys show up as well.
Yes.
Um, it's
We
span.
are raising two young men that are going to be very appreciative of
Love
women's
it.
athletes. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
How old are they?
yeah, they're 5 and 10.
That's awesome.
Yes, they will be at as many games as we can drag them to. They will be at. So
Cool. Get them a jersey.
yeah, absolutely. We're gonna make them women's hockey fans for sure. They already are. They already are.
And I
So
know you have a lot of questions and
I do.
going forward, and she has a lot in her mind, but I just want to know, like, I see your older brothers and your sister and you coming into that. Like, did they force you to play goalie? Did you always play defense? Like, how was that? Like, just quick, because I know my wife has a lot of questions.
So I played forward my whole life. I tried goalie once when I was younger, and I think I let in like 6 goals, and that was the last I ever suited up in net. I dabbled in defense, but no, we were all of us, except for maybe save for my sister, were forwards. I don't know if it's a mentality or what,
Mm,
but like go north.
yeah,
So that's kind of how we thought. So
And you shoot left.
yes, I know. One of my joking question was, do you have to be a left-handed shooter in order to play for the Seattle team? Because it feels like we have a lot of lefties.
I don't know. I don't know what the internet says. I'm a righty. So
Oh, the
Really?
internet says you're a lefty.
really?
Yeah, okay. Well, good
Wow.
to know
Maybe we'll have
that.
to make
Ooh, the
some
internet
corrections
needs to
there.
Yeah.
change. No, I'm a righty. And I think my whole family's righty. But yeah, we have a lot of lefties on the team.
As a
It
left-hander, I'm happy to see it. So,
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it just kind of shook out that way.
Yeah, I'm sure that
Yeah.
was not a strategy. I kid that was.
But it's in the back of your mind, right? Especially on defense.
Yeah.
Playing on your back end's a little more tough. So just how do we manage that? But there's precedent in teams that have a lot of one hand or the other. So and I know Coach Steve and our coaching staff will manage just fine. And obviously these players are very, very good at what they do and can play on both sides of their stick for sure.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, and we've said this a lot that because, this is a new league and there's limited spots and that sort of thing, like these are elite players. Like there are not any bad players in the PWHL. And it's not even like bad or mediocre, you know what I mean? Like these are all the elite of the elite. So because there's just so many, it's a limited, limited slots for players. So it's really cool. And yeah, like it's awesome to not blink anymore and have Barbie have a hockey jersey and all that kind of stuff. Like it's so
It's
much fun.
amazing.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of, move to the business of hockey. Not that we can't
Sure.
talk about players, but I want to talk about a little bit more about that, and especially about scouting because we are, we're building a whole new team and the roster and that sort of thing. So there's been a lot of like we've just had a lot of questions about like how do you negotiate with a rookie like when they're brand new in the league? Like, is there a standard or is there just like whatever you come up with, or I mean, what does that look like?
What are you talking salary?
Salary, bringing them onto the team, whatever entices them to come to the team, really.
Yeah, so luckily we do have a draft, which helps,
Yeah.
but yes, it's as far as negotiations goes, it's part of the puzzle, I guess. I know I say it a lot, but it is really a puzzle about who fits where and with what other players and what types of players you already have on your team. What are you kind of looking for? What's your team identity? As far as, between myself and Steve, like what do we want this organization to look like? What do we want the culture to be? And then how do we, fit the right pieces into that? And then obviously the rookies are are certainly a lot of them are really eager to come in
Yeah.
and try out and make a splash right away. So there's there's a number of things to it, I would say, but at the end of the day, everything is a moving piece. And so
Mhm.
when you change one thing, something else might move. So as we're kind of going through the signing windows and the drafts and everything, it's just about trying to get everything into the right spots as best you can. And that obviously includes the rookies as well. So I know that's a little bit vague, but there's just a lot of variables.
Well, but I think that we just, and we want to give you a huge kudos and shout out to the fact that you got our first two rookie draftees like signed super quick, like faster than anybody else. And so it was impressive to see that happen right out of the gate, even though because some of the teams don't even have any of their draftees signed yet. So, it's
Yeah, I wanted to ink things pretty quickly. We had a lot of work to do as well, just in terms of hiring and just getting this organization off
Oh,
the
you mean building a whole new team? What are you talking
From the
about?
ground up?
I can't
So
imagine it.
there was a lot of work to do, and yeah, I feel really good about the players that we have on contracts, and then also the players coming in for training camp too. I'm really excited. I'm very excited to just get in everyone and market together and on the ice and see how things fold.
We are so excited to see that and how the team's going to gel and how everyone's going to, fit together and work together and just make this just a really outstanding team. But I
Yeah.
want to give you a huge kudos because like the expansion draft, the talk about the puzzle that you had to, handle there, like not two-dimensional, maybe four, five, six-dimensional, one piece and four other dimensions are falling down and you having to, just work around that. So very impressive and just giving you huge kudos for that.
Yeah,
Well,
thank you. Well, I have a good team around me too. I had Dave Flint from Northeastern and Caitlin Parker, obviously on Seattle Kraken staff, and Hannah Armstrong too. So I had a good sounding board and a lot of good perspectives to help out there. So I can't take full credit, but
Well, but I think that talking about the bigger puzzle as you're talking about, like the fact that the league, has a salary cap and that because it's a centrally owned league, like that, I'm sure that makes it so much harder. I mean, in your experience in Boston as an assistant GM probably gave you some insight into that. Were you around, and I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to this question, but were you around at the very beginning when the inaugural draft happened, and were you there to help negotiate all that?
so short answer is no. I was actually at Army basic training in South Carolina for
Incredible
that
about that
draft.
Yes.
too, like that you even have time
Yes.
to do that with
And
a
thank you for
family
and
and
thank
a
you for your
job.
service.
Yes,
Yes.
Oh,
Thank
you
you.
don't have to say that, but
No,
thank
I'm
you.
I'm I'm gonna say it. I don't care if I have to or not. So
I know. Well, so yeah, I was in quite a different world at that moment, but I was thinking about it. as much as I could, mostly when my head hit the pillow at night, very late and only for
Yeah.
a period of time. But yeah, I had talked to Danielle before the draft and before I had left, and we had kind of just chatted mostly on who the first players that she wanted to sign were going to be. Um, and then she kept me literally postage, sent me a letter while I was in South
Wow.
Carolina that
Like a
updated.
handwritten letter?
Yeah,
That's
like a
amazing.
handwritten letter.
Like
It was
snail mail,
so
that's
sweet.
my genre.
Yeah, it's
Seriously, wow.
I wish yeah, and like the mail call in basic training is interesting. Like you gotta pay for your mail with push-ups. So
Oh,
um
I thought you were going to say money. I'm like, what is this? What are
no,
you
no,
talking
no, no,
about?
no. It's all in good fun. But
Funny.
That's awesome.
so I got it and I was pretty stoked to receive that and then just read what she had to say and see how the team was standing up as from the draft and it was really exciting. And then when I got back, we kind of talked about my position or the possibility of me transitioning careers and coming over to join her on staff and then
Wow.
started like just right before the season started for our inaugural season. So I wasn't part of it initially, but definitely was staying up to date with it. And then obviously throughout the course of the year, we had the trade kind of mid-season in the first year as well. So those talks is we were discussing as well as they were going.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even imagine. And things change so quickly. And the PWHL does things so differently. That's the funny thing is Patty's a longtime NHL fan and knows a lot about the NHL. But we come up on a lot of things that we're like, is the PWHL going to do it different? Are they going to do it the same? Like, are we going to do a whole new thing here, or is it going to be the same? So it's interesting to watch from the outside in, and I'm sure it's a puzzle, like you said, to put together being part
Yeah.
of it.
And,
So
and the league does such a good job at innovating. I say it a
yeah.
lot. Like, you have jailbreak goal. Sure,
That's
done. There you
right.
go.
That's
Yep, I
right.
noticed it. It
I
like
love that rule. Oh my
really
gosh, it's so
cool.
outside the
Adds
box completely, and it's had such a level of excitement to the game and to the penalty kill, and just oh my gosh, I can't. Why isn't the NHL doing it yet? Not that we're not talking about the NHL, but oh my gosh.
Yeah, but it's cool. It's really cool. They have a good committee that really takes a look at the game and how we can just push things along and innovate. And it's pretty cool. The no escape rule
Yeah.
paid dividends too. So just really really great things, and they're not shy about challenging norms for our own game and thinking a little bit outside of the box, which is pretty cool.
Love
Yeah.
it.
Well, and trying things and maybe they don't work, right? Like maybe every experiment doesn't work, but yet it's still like, let's try it and see how it goes. So that's
Yeah.
really cool. And it's got to be fun to be on the inside of that, just to be a part of that innovation. So
Yeah,
that's
you got to
awesome.
think through how it affects your overall strategy because it does make a difference. So
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Um, do the players' nationalities make any difference when you guys are looking at recruiting? Because that was the other thing is we noticed there's a really good mix, it feels like, between, Americans and Canadians, but
Hey, Charlova.
yeah, and I mean, like we only have one European on the team, so like I just didn't know if that was part of the strategy to think about like what, where they came from, especially as we were coming into an Olympic year, like thinking about the fact that they're going to play for their national teams more than likely. So,
yeah, I don't know if it's like a direct correlation, but I think yeah, every player is different, but some of them have like certain systems at their national teams that operate in a unique way, and so I think having a good mix of players with different backgrounds, not just, who they are and their identity off the ice, but who they are on the ice and how they play and how where they come from shapes that play, I think is really important. So yeah, it might not be, I don't know if it's direct necessarily, but it is certainly something that affects just the nature of how these players play.
yeah. And having 2 years already in the league, a lot of them, that's, you're coming there. You've already seen them play either with each other or against each other. And so I think, that kind of pulls it out of the nationality too. So
Yeah, yeah,
that's
definitely.
very interesting. Anything to say on that before I?
I did, but it's totally gone out of my head, which is not surprising at
Shocking,
all.
shocking.
Mm-mm.
Happens all the time.
Yeah, it'll come later, and I'll
It
be like,
will.
"Oh,
Yeah, tomorrow.
yeah."
Yeah.
A really fun question I wanted to ask. It feels like all of our unrestricted free agents have like a pretty mega fan base in the social media world. Was that a strategy? Like, please tell me it was.
This
I
is
don't know.
my
I can't
wife's
give all
realm,
my I can't
honestly.
give all my secrets away, but I'll say that I'm happy that they do, and I'm happy that all of those their different identities are are different, right? They don't all fall into the same kind of category, I guess, of their fans. So it's cool to see different people engaged in different ways with different players.
Yeah.
So I think that certainly is an asset and a benefit. But yeah, I can't give all my secrets away.
Okay.
Well, my
Keep,
wife,
I'll keep some cards close to the chest.
okay, good, good. My wife definitely thanks you there because she is enjoying all of the social media activity, and that's her realm completely. And
Well, and it's funny because I saw a creator actually say yesterday that it was like and it was a he was very excited about, when the women's sports channels because he's like they talk about things other than just the deep analytics, right? They're like they talk about lives and, families and, what we like to do on the weekends and that sort of thing. And I
so
just,
amazing.
yeah, and that's kind of what, that's my wheelhouse. So anyway, I just as a funny, obviously, I know that that's not necessarily a strategy, but just it was something that we noticed that a lot of them came with a very unique fan base. So it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun as a fan.
And it should push the envelope too, because it's going to bring in people that might not have that hockey background, and it might do a little changeover and bring more fans in, which is,
Yeah.
what we're kind of playing to. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Social media is huge and like brand, I mean, think about like Taylor Swift. She's like a master class in branding,
Oh
right?
yeah,
So like how you brand yourself and everything. So
absolutely.
it makes a huge difference. And I give a lot of credit to anyone, not just the players, but especially them, who can put in the work because it's not easy
Oh
either.
no.
oh no,
A lot of
not at
work.
all.
We know it's a lot of work, but yeah.
Yeah, right, right.
Yeah, and the fact that I'm sure that they're all doing it themselves too. Like that's the thing is that, the mega stars like Taylor Swift aren't necessarily putting all that all together themselves, but the
Yeah, true.
players are, and it is impressive and it's a lot of work. So, yeah, kudos to them. Well, I think we want to talk, and this is kind of more of a Patty question than it is a me question, but just the analytics of the game. I think that there's a lot to be, desired from coming from a NHL
Well, in the
background.
NHL background, there's the statisticians that you can look up face-off percentages and where shots have been taken. And I mean,
Mhm.
even when we were like doing dives into the draftees and things that we were looking at, they're like, oh, shoots left, shoots right, it's a forward. Like, is it a center? Were they a center? Were they a winger? And just wondering if things are going to expand in that area, or I know it's a new league. I know money's definitely a consideration here, but I'm missing like just a web page where I can go look at all the scores in one place, and so I don't know. I maybe I'm spoiled from all that in the NHL, but I'm missing that. So
Yeah. Well, I'll take the note. I'll take
Yeah, can you fix that for us, please, Meg? Like, make that happen.
I'll take the note. Yeah, I mean, there's good data. Like we have tools and everything that we use to provide us with a lot of that data as we're making decisions. But yeah, I'd have to go back to the team as far as externally how that's posted. I don't exactly know just from our website everything what gets where we're at with all of that. But there's data, and it's pretty cool. A lot of the data is some of it is really granular. Like example is how well a certain player plays depending on whether their line mates are, you know, up to par or not, right? So like strength of opponent and strength of team. So
Oh no.
even, you know,
Our friend Brian, who's our fact checker, is going to be all over this. He's going to be like, "How do I get my hands on that data?" That sounds
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, so it's good. Like there's a lot of good data that we can work with that are just kind of on some of the tools that are available to a lot of leagues. But yeah, I don't know just yet But
Yeah.
I'll let some people know and see what we what's
More
going on.
stats. That's what we
Yeah.
hear from the fans too. Like more
Yeah.
stats. They want more stats.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
What else do you have?
Um,
Nope. Okay. So, final
I was
question.
afraid to say it. No, I'm not
No, go
afraid to
ahead.
say
Go ahead.
it. Like the in arena entertainment.
So yeah, we have a suggestion. We have a
Okay.
suggestion that the in-arena entertainment be maybe members of the local drag community. I don't know what kind of influence you have over, Climate Pledge and what they do, but that was a suggestion one of our friends made, which I think would be hilarious and would be amazing and entertaining. But if you can take that away, that would be
Yeah,
lovely.
I was gonna say while I'm taking notes, I will
Yes,
I'll go into the list. Yeah.
because really, who are we? Who are we?
Yes.
No, but seriously, as fans, as a fan community, and we feel like, that's who's watching, our podcast are the fans, is what can we do to support you, to support the team, and just make this, I mean, really, like, we want to be the best team in the league. Like, I'm not
Same.
competitive at all.
Yeah. Me neither. I'm joking, everyone. I'm joking.
Me,
Very
me
excited.
too.
Yeah, I part of it is like I struggle to answer this question actually, because I've been really impressed with the way that the Seattle, and I'm going to say the West Coast fan base, because I feel like it spreads not just within the city proper, but just the way that people have already shown up. Like, Megan, you're a great example. You're not a former hockey person, but you're here and you're on a podcast, and maybe kudos to Patty as well.
I
But
was like, it's kind of
uh,
the joke of the century that I'm on a hockey podcast because this is not my wheelhouse, but I'm loving every minute of it.
but
So
it's cool, right? And I think that's just it is continuing to I said it at the Rough and Tumble event, and I
yeah.
feel like cliche saying it again, but just like continuing to talk about it and talk to your friends about it and bring people in, because I just have so much confidence that when someone comes to a game, they'll want to come back. And so I just have no doubts that that happens. And so it's like, how do we just continue to make people aware that this exists and it's great. And the league does a really good job of it. You both are all obviously doing a really good job of it.
Thanks.
The Seattle seems to be really engaged and everything. So it's not a change necessarily from my perspective, but just to keep doing what you're doing and bringing people along, because I know that it's the product and these players, their play speaks for itself. And I know that Maddie and our business team, they put on a good show, and it's
Oh yeah.
fun. It's a fun atmosphere. It's inclusive. It's everything. When you walk into that building, you feel welcome. And I think that's a really cool and unique experience that our league does a really good job with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Nothing like a
bring
live
people
hockey
to
game.
Climate Pledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've said that like to go with someone who knows hockey because then it's easier. They can explain it and you get so much more out of it when you know what's going on. And
Yeah. When
Yeah.
you
Or
can sit next to
chat
somebody and ask
GPT up on your
questions.
phone. I don't know.
That's true.
Like,
Yeah, that's true. If you don't know somebody who knows hockey, ChatGPT could be a good secondary. But I mean, that's how I fell in love with hockey because, I
yeah.
went to hockey games with her and I'd be like, okay, what's going on here? And she would obviously take the time to explain to me. And that's, I think hockey is a little harder to understand if you don't come from a hockey background, but get it once you get to know it, you can see it and it's an amazing electric atmosphere. We went to the takeover tour when it was here in
oh my
Seattle, and
gosh.
it was amazing, and it was so much fun. And you are so right about Climate Pledge is an amazing arena. Like when we were like, because we live south of the city, we were a little like, oh, we got to drive all the way to Seattle to see games. But we're like, holy crud, they're going to be a Climate Pledge. That's amazing. Like that's amazing. So
We're so excited.
we are so excited. Thank you for all of the work that you've done. I know that this is not easy. Like I said, we know that
Don't
you
shake your
have
head. We know you've done a
it
lot of
is
work.
it is not easy, and you have a secondary career. I think that you spend some time doing, and also a family. And we know how that is. So we appreciate you, and we appreciate all that you're doing for the sport. So
And thank you for
Yeah.
meeting with us today, really.
Thanks for having me. No, this is fun. I like doing like this is good stuff. So yeah, thank you for like I said before, just thank you both for speaking about it into microphones that you post on the internet. That's great.
That's right.
It's good. So I know we're on the ground floor of everything, but just appreciate you both beginning with us on the ground floor. And I know
We are
it's
happy to be there with you on it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
no, it's really fun. It's hard work, but it's a lot of fun, and I have a really good team. I'm really excited for Coach Steve and our new coaching staff.
I know. And yes, we just got the announcement that we've got
Yeah,
coaching staff.
like,
And kudos to the fact that we have a female coach on the bench. So we're excited about that too. So
Yeah. With
yeah, I
extra
don't know if you've looked at their
players,
resumes, but they're pretty good.
oh no, we did.
China, Europe,
Oh no.
deaf players, like
Yeah,
yeah,
very
it's
impressed.
amazing.
Very impressed.
Extremely impressive.
And coach seems like he's he's here for it too. Like even though he doesn't come from a coach, coaching a women's hockey background, like he's definitely been impressive in what I've heard him say and do so far. So we
Yeah.
are excited.
Yeah, I am too. I will say too, Steve did do some work with Team Canada on the women's side as well. So
Okay.
he
Okay.
does have experience there for whatever that's worth. Just want to
No,
give
the
him more
100%. Thank
credit
you.
to his
Thank you.
great
Thank you. Thank
resume that he
you.
already has. But yeah,
Yeah.
he's awesome, and I'm really excited for this full coaching staff. It's gonna be great. So yeah, thank you both. I appreciate it. Thanks for doing this today.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you for your time, and
We will see you at the rink.
we will see you at the ring. Can't wait for
All
puck drop.
right. Yep,
Okay.
sounds good.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
And that's the show. Tune in next time for another episode of Gloves Off Seattle.